Okay, channel news. First thing on the agenda today. Let's see. If you want to know more about the channel, you watch my first video in this series. I'm going to make this into a weekly thing. So the channel news before this, last Wednesday, has more of an introduction than this is going to have. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to tell you some things that are coming up. I will not be hunting this year. I've got family obligations. So unless something drastically changes, I won't be hunting this year. I will be hunting eventually. And there's good hunting here in Vermont. I was surprised, but I got to go a little further north than here. I just got to watch out for Lyme disease and ticks. It's very common here. Okay, so eventually I will be hunting here. I may go back down to Texas in a year or two to hunt down there. We'll see. I say that because hunting season is coming up, and that's what everyone's talking about right now. Okay. All right, just another reminder, I have several types of videos. So if you are looking for a certain type of video, or want me to nap, or want to know if I have napped a certain item, just do a search for Jack Crafty and then whatever item that is. Whatever projectile point or type of material or whatever, just type it in. Or my tools, you type in a search on YouTube, Jack Crafty tools or Jack Crafty chert or raw chert or whatever you want, and then it should come up. I've got over 1,800 videos. I think it's now 1,900 videos. Some of them have no talking. Okay, some of you don't like the talking, so if you type in Jack Crafty no talk as a search, my no talk videos come up. But most of them are talking videos. You know, I narrate. I used to be more calm and frankly boring when I first started, I think. Well, I have more fun with the videos now. I talk a lot of smack nowadays. So the older ones are less offensive than the newer ones. Okay, let's put it that way. I think that's it for that. Okay, changing the subject a little bit. I just wanted to show you something. This is an issue that comes up every now and then. I don't know why it's still an issue, but the issue of small points used for arrows. Now, some people are still wallowing in ignorance about small arrow points, and I'll show you. This is a reproduction of an Anasazi arrow. It's a full-size, exact reproduction as far as I can get it, as exact as I can do it. Okay, and the point on this one, here's a dime for a comparison, and I'll put them in the same. They're both on my thumb. Can you see? See that? It's about the same diameter, or you know, the same size as a dime. And you could put that arrowhead within this dime. Okay, and there are smaller arrowheads than this, but same deal. You know, if you look at it, you can mount a smaller arrowhead to this foreshaft. Now I forgot to bring my calipers, but this is less than 1/4 inch up here. You can mount very small arrowheads on that. And like I said, this is an actual reproduction, and the foreshaft is detachable. Okay, this is Phragmites reed. Now, I sold all of my other reproductions except these because of this one fact. Is the small arrowhead, I don't know if it's a debate or it's just a lot of lack of knowledge, but these small arrowheads were used for actual arrows. And there's more. There's another reproduction arrow, Anasazi arrow, with another small arrow point. Now this one is a little bit bigger than that dime, but you can see Very small arrow point, full size arrow. I should have brought my tape measure, but I didn't. These are long arrows. Okay? I mean, they're full size. They're not little miniature arrows. The miniature points don't go on little miniature arrows. And this is not a little miniature foreshaft either. It's pretty substantial. It looks like it's designed to penetrate quite a bit. All right? Okay? This is not to fool around with. It's not a toy either. Okay? It's not messing around, so to speak. You got to kind of twist the foreshaft in there to get it so it's straight. These reeds are not perfect, and when you try to straighten these nodes, they often go back to the original shape. Anyway, I've got these two and this one, another small arrowhead. Same, these are all Anasazi arrow or ancestral Puebloan arrow reproductions, and the arrowheads are small. Okay, all right. And where do I get that reference? What's my source? Glad you asked, because I took special amount of time to get the source for you. I actually bought a new copy of this because my copy is worn out. I lost the pages, or I didn't lose the pages. They just fell out of the back and I had to put them in a different folder, and I don't know where they went. I lost, the last 20 pages where they fell out. I ended up losing them anyway because I can't seem to find what folder I put them in. But let's see if I can get the page so I can show you. And there's a couple more. There's some, these are Apache arrows. These are actual size arrowheads for Apache arrows. You can see the size comparison compared to a dime. These are substantially bigger on the Apache arrows, but just so you know, small arrow points go on the regular size arrows. You see that one right there? Small arrow point. And these are, what does it say down there? Apache. Yeah. They're not toys. They didn't mess around. And yeah, they used small arrowheads. This one is made of metal, but you can see how small it is. Okay. This one is Mojave. The last one was Mojave. These are all Southwest types arrows, of arrows. I'm looking for the ones that I reproduced, or that I made reproductions of. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, here they are. These are the ones I made reproductions of. Let's see if I can get these all together. Can you see? No, they're upside down. I know. I can't hold them right side up because there's a table there. But this one goes with that one. This red one goes with the other one. See? And I did the fletchings according to the diagrams as well. Although it's my interpretation as far as the shape, the length is exact. And the knocks, two different types of knocks. This one is just a straight reed knock at the node, okay, and then wrapped. This is cut into the reed to act as a knock at the node. This one is a wooden insert into the reed, and the reed is tapered, and so is the insert. So you get this little dip right there, and it's all wrapped with sinew. Okay, sinew wrappings. As exact as I can get these. Now these are different lengths, okay? These are different lengths. Now there's one more that I reproduced a long time ago because it just was kind of odd. It has a really long arrow point, and I don't know what type that is, but it's in this other book that I've got. Again, this might not be a small arrowhead, but it's very narrow. Okay. I think it isn't quite as wide as a dime. See the narrowness of that? It could just as well be short. But this arrow comes from this book. I just dropped it. See? What is it? Oh, you can read it. You can read, right? You can read. Hopefully it'll show properly without being blurry. I'll put the names of these books in the thing down below somewhere. Okay? Just so you didn't get it the first time for the other book. All right, so this book here has this arrow right there. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. It's I did do a reproduction of that one, but I don't have that one anymore. Where's the one that I'm looking at right now? Oh well, I thought I had found it, but I guess not. I thought I was all prepared, and now I gotta look again. There it is. It is that one. Okay. I reproduced this one and scaled it from this drawing. There's descriptions here on this side on the total length, I think. That one is number 2. Shaft of reed, foreshaft, a twig, perhaps of greasewood, set into the end of the reed of the shaft and seized with sinew. Stone head is sagittate, which means it's serrated, right? Or sagittate might be the shape of the leaf, shape of the arrowhead that is using the categorization of a leaf. Okay. Fastened with sinew, covered with gum. Yeah. One thing on this one, what's the overall length? Length of shaft 24, and the foreshaft is 12 inches, so it's 36 inches, right? But one thing I wanted to mention is don't make your foreshafts out of live oak. See how warped that is now? And I keep bending this back into shape. And I've used heat, I've used steam, I've used all sorts of things. It never stays straight. So don't use live oak. You can use what it says here, you know, greasewood. That would probably work better than live oak. But I was trying to use a wood that is very heavy. And live oak was the heaviest wood that I could find. Okay? But it doesn't work well, just so you know. And this one has a knock cut into the reed, no node. It's just hollow at that point with sinew. And these are pheasant feathers. I try to capture as much of the pheasant feather as possible, but toward the front, you can see how it gets all wrinkly because it's just weaker up front. The feather itself, the feather stays much more intact on the rear end of the feather. Okay, just so you know. Just so you're wondering what happened. What happened to that? Yeah, for some reason, that's the way feathers are. Okay, so I just wanted to show you those because there's misconceptions about bird points. The small arrowheads are called bird points, but they were not used for birds unless that was the only thing that was available to shoot at. They're not specifically for birds. In fact, they're specifically for everything else other than birds. Okay. I'm going to make some bird points. Some points that are actually used or were used for birds. Yeah, they don't look like this. What do they look like? Well, let's see if I can give you a sneak peek. Let's see if I can give you a sneak peek at what one type of bird point looks like. It's on an Apache arrow in here. And I should be able to find it in 5 seconds. But knowing my luck, I'll skip over it 18 times before I actually notice that I've passed it. Yeah, it's in here. I got to open one page at a time, make sure there's only one page. Check to see and go very slowly. There it is. That's one version of one type of bird point. This version has steel wire for a stop. See how they're lashed? I think there's 4 pieces of steel wire, probably from a barbed wire fence, lashed to this foreshaft to prevent penetration. That's a bird point. And not for fish. This is a bird point. Okay? Just one example. There are other examples, and I'll dig up as many samples of points that were actually used on birds as I can from sources on the internet and elsewhere. What's elsewhere? Books. Yeah, I do have several books. All right, what else is on here? Oh yeah, I'll be doing tests with arrows. And what I'll do is I'll have the same main shaft and I'll just replace the foreshafts with different things. I'll just replace the foreshaft area with different things. Okay? I'll have different arrowheads attached to different foreshafts and compare the results. I want to use the same arrow shaft because it gives me more consistent results with each test, because I'm not messing with the spine of the arrow or the weight of the arrow. I'm just shooting the same arrow over and over and over again, comparing the different foreshafted points. They'll all be foreshafted just like they were back in the day. You might say, well, no, they weren't all foreshafted. They were if they were reed like this. And a lot of times they were if they were lightweight in with the wood that they used. Okay? But even if it was river cane, which is pretty heavy, they still foreshafted the river cane. Okay, so I'll be using a socketed arrow shaft with interchangeable foreshafts. Probably should have said that in the beginning. Anyway, I found my hunting points that were modern that I bought off of Amazon. I'll be comparing stone points to these points as far as penetration goes. And the reason why I chose these is because they're cheap and everyone can get a hold of these and do your own test. So you know, or so you will know, that I'm not cheating on the tests. There's all kinds of fancy broadheads and stuff. I'm not going to use those. I'm just gonna probably use this straight out of the box, but I can sharpen these. But the thing is, if I sharpen these, you might have different results when you sharpen yours. So I'll just use them just like this, straight out of the bag or the box, and compare them to stone points. You know, I'll put a foreshaft on there and I'll insert it into a shaft like this. I'm not going to shoot this one. This is a reproduction, but you get what I mean. Okay. So we can see the difference between penetration of old and new, and if it makes any difference, and if it does, by how much. And what would I be shooting at? Well, I'm going to be shooting at an artificial target, probably foam, something that I can replace quickly, easily, and not waste it. If I'm shooting at meat in rib cages, which everyone wants me to do, I'm going to break the arrowheads that are made of stone. And it wastes the meat because I'm not going to eat the meat that contains shards of arrowheads. Okay? I don't care what you say. So it would be wasted. Now, there's been a suggestion that was very good that I can use carcasses that are going to be thrown away anyway from whatever a venison processor or a taxidermist will throw away carcasses. Yeah. However, I don't have access to those carcasses anymore. I did for a few months there, but I don't have access anymore. And The other hazard is dealing with, stinky biological material. I have to be careful. Okay. And anyway, eventually I will shoot at carcasses that are going to be thrown away anyway, and stuff the rib cages with throwaway type internal organs. If they're not going to use the heart and it's getting bad, or if it's already bad, I'll stick the heart in there. I'll put other organs in the rib cage and I'll do tests on it eventually like that. But for now, I'll be doing tests. I don't know if it's this year or next year, using modern points compared to stone points. Okay. I'm getting frustrated because of the, he's been quiet all day, and it starts with the, I don't know what that is, while I'm doing the video. Okay. All right. That's it.